today about how to stick it out. So, what happens when things are crappy, things don't go our way, and we really have to dig deep to find that motivation and to really just like plow through the suck. Like, to be brutally honest, like the whole time that I was thinking about how to even put it, it really is like plowing through the suck. When things are crappy in any area of our life, I mean, for me, parenthood, married life, being a human being, and coaching, they all kind of go together, and life isn't perfect. So all of those areas, there are going to be times where you just have to get through the suck. I have to get through the tantrums. I have to get through the disagreements with my husband. I have to get through the, frustrations and stresses that I go through as an individual. And the same goes for coaching. Those same things apply. So when it comes to coaching, we have to look at where are we right now and where do we want to go? Where is our non-negotiable? And I think sometimes that's where coaches get lost, is we haven't developed this like really big why yet. And you can kind of get swept under the stress and swept under the, lack of activity in your business and lose sight of that why. I actually, like I said, started coaching in January of 2015. By April of 2015, I was ready to throw in the towel. I was ready to say, I can't do this. I contacted my coach and I was like, I'm just not made for this. There's no way that I can do this. This just isn't for me. And I distinctly remember having the conversation with my husband and him saying, why? Why are you quitting? Why are you giving this up? And I was like, I just don't think I can do it. And he was like, that's not a good enough reason. Like, that's just not. And it was because it was hard. I had gone, by that point, I was going through the cycle of coaching. So I had gone through, most of my immediate warm market. And I was getting to that point in my business where it required me to do a lot of work. And I was doubting my ability. So I was starting to get through that, starting to get into that like sucky part where there was little activity and there was not a lot happening. And I did have to dive further into personal development. And instead of giving up, I pushed harder and I hit diamond at the end of June in 2015. And by September, I was a 1-star diamond. So had I given up, where would my business be? Where would my life be? Like, I am now, as of last August, I am a full-time stay-at-home mom and Beachbody coach. I am able to provide for my family. I am able to be home with my kids. And if I gave up in that sucky moments, in those, times that are hard, I wouldn't have those things. And I would be sacrificing those things just because it was hard. So, we're going to go through moments, like I said, in our business and in our lives where it's going to go up and it's going to go down. But it's almost about not letting your emotions go totally up and totally down. Like, let your business do that because that's part of the business. But don't let your mind and emotions do that. So in order to get through the suck, in order to get through the hard times, the rough times, you have to just stick to the vitals. You have to just do the work. So what I mean by that is every day you should be doing your power hour. Every day, no matter what, if you are sick, if your kid's sick, if there's a death in the family, if you're on vacation, you should be making a priority to run your business just like you would if you had $150,000 in a loan from the bank to open a restaurant or any other kind of business. You would make sure that you were there and you were doing your vitals every day because that's what's important and that's how you're going to run your business. So that's why this is important, because if you're doing your vitals every day, do or die, like you're just doing them, it's not going to matter emotionally where you are in your business. Just do the vitals. So for me, recently, I've gone into one of those like sucky moments where I feel like everything is, just hard, and I lose motivation just like everyone else. And in order to get through that, I sit down at my computer and I do my vitals, because it doesn't matter about anything else but that you just do the vitals. You can be upset and frustrated and mad and unmotivated, but that doesn't mean that you can quit. It doesn't mean that you can give up, because that sucky moment, those lack of motivation days, those hard days aren't going to last forever. They're going to last for a week. But if you give up and you don't do your vitals and you don't do your power hour, you're never going to get out of that sucky moment. So you have to just literally plow through it. You have to just decide that you're going to do it anyway. When I was getting ready for the call earlier today, I was thinking about, what are things that I could talk about and compare it to. And I was watching my 2-year-old sit and build with like the mega blocks or whatever, giant Legos that I hate all over my living room. But she was sitting there and it was hard for her. And she loves sitting there and doing, building whatever, towers, castles, whatever it is. She loves it. So she'll sit there, and as much as she loves it, she gets frustrated and she wants to give up. And she, at some points, she will literally just sit there and stare at her building, at her tower, whatever it is. And then she'll get to a point where she just throws it all over the living room and she gives up and walks away. And then she comes back a little while later and she does it again and she starts over. And I started thinking that's exactly like this business, like literally exactly like this business. There are times where you just want to throw blocks all over the living room when it comes to coaching. There are times where you want to throw your computer halfway across the living room probably because of coaching, because it's frustrating, because you hear one too many no's, because you're not getting any responses. It gets frustrating. But you have to take a breath and just do it anyway. Go back and do it anyway. If you have to walk away, if you have to take a day to just breathe, to really dive hard into personal development, to build yourself back up and know that it's not you, it's the business, it's how it works, it's what being an entrepreneur is. It takes energy and effort and work, and you have to just plow through the suck. You have to do it anyway. Those vitals are there for a reason. So when you don't feel like doing anything, do your vitals. Do them every day without fail, even when it's hard. And that way, as you get through those crappy moments and as you get through those no's and whatever, you're still creating new relationships. You're still creating new conversation. You're still inviting new people. You're opening them up to the opportunity. So what ends up happening is you might go a week where everybody says no. But in that week, if you're inviting 3 to 5 people a day, you're going to have a minimum of 21 new people that you have now talked to that are going to start, those conversations are going to progress over time. And the more that you talk to people and the more that you find out about them, those next few weeks to follow are going to boom in your business because you didn't give up. If you give up and you take that whole sucky week off, then it's going to snowball into 2 weeks that are sucky and then 3 weeks that are sucky. But if you just do it anyway, if you just invite anyway, if you just post anyway, you'll see a huge difference. I think it was Hannah, I can't remember, it might have been Hannah, that had made a comment about how, I lost my total train of thought there. Anyway, it'll come back to me. But she had made some comment about coaching, and anyway, I'll get back to it. But you just have to do whatever it is that you don't want to do, whatever it is that you're frustrated with, do that. Focus on that. Because when I get frustrated, inviting is the last thing I want to do. 100%, it is the last thing that I want to do. But I know that I'm taking an opportunity from somebody if I don't reach out to them. I'm taking a relationship, a friendship opportunity away from them that they might need, that they might be looking for. And if I'm just pouting in the corner because things are hard, I'm not really doing my job as a coach. So, do your posts a couple of times a day. That's what I was going to say. She had talked about how when you're in those crappy moments, when you're having those crappy moments, coach yourself. Okay, so she had talked about when she gets in a crappy moment or is going through one of those like hard times in the business or in her personal life or whatever, she'll make a video or make a post that she needs to hear. But if you need to hear it, somebody else needs to hear it too. So for me, sometimes that's, yeah, I had a bad day, but it was my choice. I can decide, and I did this the other day, I had a really bad day, but I could decide how long that bad day lasted. So I made a post about it. And that's what people relate to, because people realize that life isn't perfect. So if you're coaching yourself through your posts and you're doing videos and you're talking to challengers and you're talking to potential people, the way that you would want somebody to talk to you, you're going to draw in more people. So even through those sucky times, even through the really hard, trying times of the business, you can coach yourself and coach other people. And in turn, it helps you get out of that like low point and back in to a level or high point. But you have to keep doing it. You're only going to prolong the long, unfortunate times in the business if you, or in anything. It's like getting into a fight with your spouse and never talking about it, or like never apologizing, or like never talking to them again because you're just like mad that they left the lid off the toothpaste. Like, really? No, give it up. It's fine. Just like talk to them, get it over with, and then it doesn't last forever. Because people that, and I was like this and still am sometimes, I'm one of those people that doesn't like to talk about things. So you like shove it under the rug and like walk away. Eventually it's going to creep its way back out of the rug, and it's going to come up in an argument that has nothing to do with that. But you have to just deal with it. You have to just get over it and move on, because then it's over and it's done with, and you can move on with your business, or you can move on with, an issue as a parent or as a spouse or as a friend. You can move on, but you can't hold on to it. You can't take things personally. And I think as coaches, that's another thing that we struggle with, is taking things too personally. We think that no means I hate you, but it really just means no. It just means that they're not ready. It just means that it's not for them. It just means that you need to follow up with them. And sometimes we get I'm just not even going to answer you. I'm going to read your message, but I'm just not going to answer. But that doesn't mean that they don't like you. I mean, I get people like that all the time that don't answer me, but then they like and comment on all my pictures. And I'm like, okay. But it's really just because it's the confrontation. It's the, oh gosh, I'm on the spot and I have to answer now. And then they don't know how because they're not there yet. So don't take it personally. Those situations, those times, take it as it is and lesson release. Like, just move on. Continue doing what you're supposed to be doing. No matter how hard it is, just keep doing it. Because no matter how hard it is, as you push through and as you go through those days, you're going to see a huge rush of people that actually want your help, that are ready to help you, move through your business, because they're going to give you that confidence back because they're ready. But not everybody is going to be ready. If you talk to 100 people, all 100 people are not going to be ready. But you have to just do it anyway. Lately, when I feel like I can't invite, because we all know that if you don't want to invite and you do invite, you kind of come off as like not who you are, because you're kind of like pushing it when you don't want to. Read personal development. Like, right before you're going to invite, read personal development, listen to personal development. I've listened to like those like really motivational things that people probably listen to in like the locker room before like the Stanley Cup game. Those are the kind of things that I listen to. And I'm like, okay, I gotta like get all amped up for this. And then I feel like I'm on top of the world when I start doing my invites, because I'm like, yeah, this is a rock star opportunity. This is something that's going to change their life. It's something that changed my life. And then I get this whole new perspective, and then I can just like continue to invite, and it doesn't even bother me because I fired myself up. No matter how crappy my day was, or no matter how crappy the business feels, if I can fire myself up just in that moment, even if it's just in that moment, just to get you through your 5 to 10 invites, whatever it is that you have set as a daily goal for your invites, just fire yourself up enough to just do that. But you have to do it. If you give up, you give up. And then that time is going to last longer. And then you're going to lose sight of the whole reason why you started this. And, always go back to your why. Go back to, when you first started as a coach, what were you trying to accomplish? And sometimes I really lose sight of that because our whys change. And there are so many times where I'm like, yeah, like I'm really mad right now because I didn't hit my income goal, or I didn't hit the number of people goal that I wanted to help this month or this week or today. And I start to lose sight of all I wanted to do when I started this was have extra accountability and be able to continue Shakeology. That was my goal when I started. So sometimes I have to go back to that and realize how far I've come and how much I've accomplished. And the fact that me talking right now and having a conversation and, hosting a call is a big deal because I am the biggest introvert on the planet and I don't like to have conversations. And I often run away in the other direction when people don't know that I'm there so that I don't have to have conversation. But it's a big thing, and you have to take pride and happiness in the little things and congratulate yourself and celebrate the little things that happen. Just like in your weight loss journey, when we tell our challengers, don't focus on the scale. Don't focus on the scale in your business either. Focus on the little things. Focus on the non-scale victories. Focus on the small things that are happening. The things that, hey, I posted 5 times today. And I don't normally do that. So be proud of yourself. Give yourself that when you're in the middle of a crappy time. Focus on the things that you are doing and give yourself that, because it is going to get hard. But if you just focus on the things that you are doing right, that you are proud of yourself for, how far you've come, you focus on your why, you just do it anyway, you're going to see progress. And eventually that rough time will pass. That crappy time, that, mind funk that you're in will pass. But it's not going to pass forever. It's going to come up again. But that doesn't mean that you give up. If everybody gave up every time it got hard, we wouldn't have computers. We wouldn't, I'd be sitting here in the dark. We would have nothing. If every time things got hard, people gave up, life would be completely different. So remember that. I can't remember where I read it, but, well, actually I made a post about it, but, Thomas Edison, it was 1,000 times he failed before he succeeded. And the guy that created Starbucks was denied almost 200 times by banks for the idea of Starbucks. But then now there's Starbucks. So there are people that you wouldn't even think have failed and gone through crappy times and had to, overcome so many obstacles. But they just did what they wanted to do because their why was big enough, because their heart was big enough, because they had a dream and they weren't stopping at anything. So you guys have to do that too. It's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's not an easy route, which is why not everyone does it. It's why a lot of people run in the other direction when you offer up the coaching opportunity, because they're like, hell no, I can't be my own boss. That's a lot of pressure. And it is. Sometimes it is a lot of pressure, but it's also a lot of reward. And the fact that you can grow a 6-figure income from your couch is kind of a big deal. The fact that you can be home with your kids, the fact that you can pay off debt and pay off your mortgage and retire your spouse, these are big things. And it's not something that everybody can handle. But it doesn't mean that even when you can't handle it, even when you want to give up, even when it gets hard, you just keep pushing. You just keep moving forward, because eventually it will end. Nothing lasts forever. The best way that I can even kind of like compare that is I have anxiety, really bad anxiety. And I was reading stats on it the other day. You can only ever have an anxiety attack for it's like 20 minutes or something, because your body can only panic for so long before your hormones start to regulate. And your business can only do that for so long too. If and only if you continue to work it. If you give up, your business will give up too. But if you are sticking with things and you're just like in an anxiety attack, breathing through it and just knowing that it won't last forever, you will get through it. You just have to continue doing all the things you know you're supposed to. And that's how, at the end of the day, you can push through the crappy points, the points where you feel like the walls are caving in. Just keep pushing forward. All the things that every coach reiterates: inviting every day, doing your personal development, being a product of the product. Do those things. Do your personal development and post about that on a crappy day. When you're having a crappy day and you don't know what to post about, well, I have 3 things that you can post about: your personal development, your workout, and a shake recipe. There you go, 3 things. You didn't even have to think about it. They're just things that you should be doing anyways. So you don't even have to go outside of that little box on those days, but you have to just keep doing them. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to your drive to push forward. If you give up, your business will give up. If you don't give up, your business won't give up. It won't fail you. You are your business. So just keep pushing forward. Just decide that you're going to invite every day. You're going to do your personal development. And when it gets hard, do more personal development. Listen to it every waking moment that you have. I mean, maybe not if you're like at work and it's like on the radio or something, but like put your headphones in when you're driving to work, when you're washing the dishes, when you're doing the laundry. Have it like literally surrounding your head so that no matter what you're doing, you're strengthening that part of you, because that is going to be the part that gives up first. Just like in your workout, your head will give up long before your body ever will. So just treat everything like you would your challengers, and you would your weight loss journey, and you would your fitness journey. Focus on non-scale victories. Focus on your why. Focus on just getting through your head that you can do it. And those things will lead you through the crappy moments. 100% without fail, they will lead you through. Just don't give up. So I hope that helps you guys. I hope that was something that you guys can learn from.